Bay Radio weather with the new Bay Radio app. Take us with you wherever you go. And if you're on holiday, you can even take us home with you. Go to your usual app provider and search for Bay Radio.
Now then, Skip Archimedes is back with us as promised last Friday. Have you had a good week?
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing. We've had everybody on the retreat. Everybody came, feeling heavy, with all the weights of life, work stress, food stress, relationship stress, all of the stress that life gives us. And every single one of them just left shining, re-loving themselves at a high level, re-loving everybody who was at that event, at the event. And they left all feeling younger and looking younger. And
not even here.
You brought a friend with you. Who's with you today?
I've got a good friend of mine now, Tamer Hassan, and loads of people have seen him. He's a great movie star. In my opinion, one of the best gangster bad boy actors in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, let's just do a little bit of a roll call then. The Business, Football Factory, Batman Begins, Dead Man Running, and of course Game of Thrones this year as well. Wow, you pulled that off. I know you were trying to get to make sure that happened, weren't you, Tam? And it's actually happened now.
Yeah, it was only a little role in there, but it was Game of Thrones, and it was a lot of fun. I was in and out, and that was it. But yeah, it was good.
And he was going to be here for the retreat, but he's doing Snatch at the moment, and they're making a big TV series of Snatch. He's got one of the lead roles in that, and obviously because he's doing such a good job on set, they kept him for more days. So he's came out after, and at the moment he's not actually eating. So at the moment he's on a juice fast, and he's just had this espresso, so he's flying.
That was what was going on as we came in.
Thoroughly enjoyed it as well.
So you're here for the deal tomorrow then, Saturday at the Dania Marriott from 9 o'clock in the morning. Skip, You're going to sort of compress everything into a day to show people exactly what it is that you do. You're known as the Miracle Man, the UK's top transformational coach, and Tam, that's exactly how you guys met, because you're in a bit of a rough time, having a bit of a rough time of it. And how did you manage to pick up with Skip here?
I was having more than a rough time, but I'm going to be speaking there tomorrow, so I don't want to give you too much. I'd rather speak to you face to face, right, Skip? But I'll give you a little bit of it. I was, about 5-6 years ago, I was sort of literally destroyed, probably about 19 stone, out every night, drinking, partying, doing what I shouldn't be doing, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, I've got to tell you. But what it was doing to me at the time was not good. I couldn't bag a job. I lost my house. My marriage was going down the pan. And we met before when I was kind of clean, and then I see Skip again a year later, and he just looked at me and said, "You've got to come on this retreat." And I was like, "Retreat?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "What do I do on a retreat?" He said, "You just drink juice." I said, "What? Juice? What do you mean? Juice? No solids, no kebabs, no this, no that." He went, "No." But he didn't say too much, and he left it with me, and then, everything in my soul was trying to stop me from going, but I ended up going, and here I am today, turning work down, financially stable, marriage is great, fit, healthy, and kind of taking the ball by the horns myself now. I mean, he's gifted me with the tools, and I'm forever in debt to him. He's become a brother and a friend, but gifted me with the tools to actually go out and do it myself. But it was initially the first one. So, and look, I'm living proof. If anybody knows me, they know I've got a history, they know what sort of films I do and how I used to live my life.
So it was wild man on set and off then, was it? Yeah,
majorly. Worse, more often on, the truth be known.
Didn't you take down Vinnie Jones, though? I mean, nobody can really say that. You're probably one of the only people who can say that.
I've taken down a lot more than Vinnie Jones. Now I kill him with kindness and love.
Oh, dear.
And just leave it to the films. But yeah, look, you got to get down there. I'm living proof of it. Try and get down tomorrow as a little introduction for you. I'll be speaking tomorrow, obviously. I'll have 20 minutes after Skip's on his bit, but you really got to get down and do it, hear about it, and we can talk about it till the cows come home, but you've actually got to commit, get down there, do it, feel it, love it, and then I promise you, I swear wholeheartedly, I'll put my house on the line. I've lost a house, that you will walk away from there a new person and loving whatever it is you want to love.
So how long ago was this? When did this start?
5 years ago.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So that's quite well into your career then.
I was the go-to guy. Me and Danny Dye was.
Is you one of your best mates? Yeah.
Yeah, one of my best mates, and we've done probably some of the greatest British films to come out since Long Good Friday and those films that Bob and those guys were doing, and And then we just got caught in this trap of this rock star life. We was turning up at clubs. They're giving us loads of money to turn up at clubs, and we was filling clubs, 2,000-3,000 people. I got caught up in that whole. Can I say bullshit? Am I allowed to say bullshit? In that whole bullshit world of... someone's laughing at that. I'm going to get in trouble. There's a swear box gone. That's the first one. But sort of caught up in that world of thinking that, you know, life is about having a million girls around you, popping off champagne, smoking, drinking, having a good time and not going home. Do you know what I mean? But it isn't. And then you kind of learn that there is more to life than that.
And it's really shifted, because success without the fulfillment is failure. And what people are going to find is, when you're looking for this good feeling, you know, you're looking for the answers outside of yourself, you're always chasing something. And when you really find that inner magic where you don't have to have anything to feel good, then what you do is you let go of the resistance and you pull things into your existence with so much ease. I mean, he was talking about house a minute ago. He's now bought and moved into a £4 million house. That's the contrast. And just before he'd lost it, and I'm saying that's the contrast on a financial level. When you get the shift, your mind's going to shift, your body's going to shift, your relationships are going to shift, your career's going to shift, everything that you're connected to in life is going to shift. And we're only on this planet for a certain time period, and surely we want to make sure that while we're here, we're designing and creating the life that we want. Because if you're not living your dreams, what are you living?
The only things I don't have or get are the things I don't want.
Exactly, and most people are getting the things that they don't want every single day. They're getting the pains, they're getting the aches, they're getting the bills they don't want, they're getting the relationships they don't want, they're getting the headaches they don't want, they're just getting all the stress that they don't want. And that stuff, stress is going to age you more than anything. And when you learn how to turn that key, and most people don't realize that this whole game of life is set up so perfectly that when you actually let go of the resistance and you get in that flow state, you can change your life so fast. But the only thing that has to change is us, not the things on the outside. Well, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and people are always pointing the finger. But look at this, every time you point a finger, you got 3 of those bad boys pointing back at you. So we're the ones who have to change. And when you change the things you look at, the things you're looking at change.
Tamer Hassan, and
we still have a night out, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
we still have a 20% of having a bit of fun, but you know, it's when
and
we
it is
wanna
the
do
80-20 rule that he's saying. You know, 80% of the time go hardcore, because you definitely don't want to be one of these people who's going to end up with a heart disease, a cancer, a diabetes. You know, all of these pains that people are experiencing. They think, oh yeah, but that's just part of getting old. No, it's not. That's getting toxic. That's literally thinking, this is just normal. Well, my dad had this, my mum had this, my grandparents had this.
There's no such thing as hereditary and genetics. And all
less
that.
than 2%.
You are you, that's it.
Brilliant. We'll talk a little bit more after the break.
Sure.
The feeling and love it when you call. We've been getting some coffee grind readings in here. I'm not quite sure what's going on, because the boys have been obviously, you know, on their nice creative juice drinks with all the nutrients, and you've just had a coffee from next door, which is pretty strong stuff. And Tam, what have you said in the bottom of your cup there?
Saying, my dear old mum, when we was kids, she used to look at it and she'd read the coffee for you, and she'd look in and she'd go, look, can you see there? Look, there's a telephone. Look, you're going to get some good news. And we'd, as kids, would be staring at it and go, really? Oh, look, can you see the pound sign? You're definitely going to get some money. And look, there's a D there. Somebody with the letter D is going to come into your life. We've been seeing that.
I think we're freaks now.
Tamer Hassan and Skip Archimedes are with us today. There is a big gig tomorrow at the Dania Marriott. What are we going to expect?
Well, first of all, like, just the vibe that we've all got here. If you're not having a good vibe in life, if you're not having fun in life, then life just sucks. And the whole teachings that come through me to people is, it really is going to help people let go of the stuff that isn't serving them in life and reconnect to more options in life. You know, I'm not going to be saying, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. I'm going to be saying, hey, what if this could happen? And then we go through processes at the event, and it's what I call experiential learning. Because if I'm just telling you what to do, we hate being told what to do. Whereas if I can take you through a process and you come out of it really feeling good and empowered, then suddenly in that place, in that moment, life feels better. Because life really, what's it like when you're having fun? It's like time doesn't exist, but when life sucks, it's like time goes on forever. So even though we're there for the whole day, it's going to fly by, and people are going to really leave at the end of the day loving who they are, and they're going to love life at a higher level, and they're going to connect to this this vibe, what I call living forever young. And we all know we're going to die, but while we're here, we might as well make the best of it. And
we're going to die.
You made Tam invincible, haven't you? That's what's happened.
I'm immortal.
Well, hang on. You were a Greek god, of course, on screen. So you know,
Hercules, yeah, god of war.
You say you don't tell people what to do, but Tam, when you were completely down, on pretty much everything in your life, how did you manage to listen to what Skip was saying? How could you believe what he was saying?
Not about him telling you
feeling?
what to do. He'll always tell you what to do, or not what you should do, but what he does, he gifts you with the tools to do it. He'll say, look, he'll always find a way around it. He'll sit down, and you've got to remember, everyone on this planet is different. He's got the tools the gift, should I say, to actually sit down with everybody, whatever problem they got, whatever dis-ease they've got, and we call it dis-ease, and we don't call it disease, you see, I remembered. And he'll work it out. He'll find a way for you to. But Skip can't actually do nothing for you. You have to do it.
It's like this. Say you've got. He sounds like a guru now, doesn't he?
Yeah, see.
So it's like this.
See what you've done.
You think about this as a baby. What you didn't get taught how to stand up. You didn't get taught how to walk. The babies figure it out for themselves because they're seeing it. We learn most things through seeing things. And if the baby stands up and falls down, you don't complain that the baby falls down. If it takes a couple of steps and then falls over, takes a couple of steps and fall over, mum or dad wouldn't come in and say, you know what, I've just seen you falling over all the time. You might as well just stop trying to walk. You're obviously not going to be a walker. You'd never say that. You're going to encourage and create a good vibe around it. And that's what we do tomorrow when we're at the ballroom at the Denia at the Marriott. We're going to be creating this environment, this vibe in this environment where people are going to be learning how to walk their journey in life, finding that inner power. And when people connect to that inner power, everything in their life changes. I know I keep saying it, and it might sound like I'm going on and going on and going on, but it is the truth, because people aren't even scratching the surface of their own potential.
But you have to play full out. I mean, sometimes, when I first went, I was looking at all these weirdos jumping around and like hugging each other and all. I'm like, stop hugging me, get away. I'm like, what are you doing? But you've got to play full out, and I think for some of you first timers, it's going to be a bit weird. It's going to feel like a happy clappy kind of church thing. You'll be like, what am I doing? But
were you scared? Because you're not somebody who generally gets scared, are you?
Terrified, mate. I had a baseball cap on, sitting at the back of the class, like just writing, and what came out of it was just so phenomenal for me as a creative. Was just unbelievable, and things were happening to me. I started off at the back of the class looking around thinking, God, mate, I'm in Fraggle Rock here. Look at these nuts. I said, it felt like Fraggle Rock, the Muppet Show, Big Brother, like all into one, and you're confined in this, up in this mountain somewhere, and you've got all these, I'm looking at people saying, these are mad, these people. But then as it started unfolding, I started cleansing, and it all started working. It just clicked into, everything just clicked in, like click, click, click. And just listening to the man speak. But you've got to play full out, and you've got to want it. If you go there, there was a couple of people that have a negative vibe, weren't there, when we first went?
There always are, yeah.
And then they go, what's this, what's that? And I know some of them were slipping out and having a steak or whatever, but then as they come back, I can grasp them up now, but because it was 5 years ago. But you when you're there, you've got to listen, and you've got to just believe in it for a minute. It's going to be difficult at first.
It is kind of hard to really describe, to say to you, Skip, because I keep trying to do it, but it doesn't really work. Like, what do you do? It's like to define it. How can you define it?
I help people. We know in life that we live on a crazy planet, where we live on a planet of contrast, and we know that challenges are going to happen. And you might be able to set your life up exactly the way that you want it, but we're always going to be challenged. And if you can start to see your challenges as blessings, you saw me the first time I came in here, where I'd literally just snap this wrist, I'd snap my tailbone.
Broke your coccyx as well, yeah.
Yep. And
something else there.
And I was on here on a walking stick, and now I'm 95% back, just literally a couple of months later, because as we live, and it's going to sound weird, we live in this vibrational reality. And when you change your vibration, i.e. you start to connect to good vibes, and it's not about having positive thoughts, then you start to get like, if you imagine this, if you imagine that we've got a line here, and that line's almost like resembling sea level. Below the sea level is, you can't breathe underwater. And below the sea level is things like fear, depression, poor me, victim mentality, frustration, anger, all of these things. And most people live in those places, and we're all going to go into them because we live, sound happens in waves, life happens in waves, and every now and again you're going to dip below the line. But when you learn the tools that Tam's talking about, as you come back up quick, then you get above the line, and that's where creation happens. That's where being the optimist happens. That's where all of your good decisions happen, because if you're making a decision below the line, you can guarantee that decision is not going to serve you at the highest level, because you can't stop the challenges happening, but you can turn those challenges into blessings. And when they turn into a blessing, then you grow and expand through your challenges, and that's how you become unshakable, and that's how you become unstoppable in life.
Because we laugh about it now, don't we? I mean, with the tools he's gifted me, if I'm doing a business deal, I'm always about leveraging deals and changing the game and doing other things. And at the start of it, I'd ring him up, go, look, this hasn't happened, that hasn't happened, blah, blah, blah. Now we laugh about it. We go like, I'll explain to him like, look, this deal ain't happened yet, but we laugh about, we sit there and go, oh, come on, when's the universe going to give us this money, or when's this deal going to happen?
And what's he doing? He's staying in a good vibe.
Yeah, and we laugh about it, and I go, all right, look, I know what I've got to do here. But it's never now, oh man, I've lost this deal, I've lost that deal, because the only person that loses that deal is you.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's us as human beings. We lose the deal. But now, even the other day, we was up till 6 in the morning talking about it. I said to him, like, this deal is taking its time. It's taking... And what I do is I answer the questions, and then we just start laughing about it. And then it's like, all right, okay, when it's ready, it'll come. But it's never lost. Nothing ever loses.
Life as an actor is hard because, you're up there 1 minute with a role, and once that's gone, you're waiting for the next one. And it is seriously that up and down thing that you were saying.
The great thing for me now is I couldn't bag a job then. Now I'm turning them down. Do you see what I'm saying? Now I'm turning them down, and I'm working with all the greats, and I'm working with all my peers and the people I've aspired to be like and work with. It's all just coming, and you kind of sit there.
Yeah, you just come off a movie with Christian Bale, and he's inspiring these people now, because the language that he has, a lot of people don't get this stuff. I mean, look at Robin Williams, one of the world's greatest actors, comedians, and he didn't have this stuff. No. Otherwise, that wouldn't happen. Michael Jackson, one of the world's best entertainers, Elvis, because these people don't get that the magic is within them. And they're chasing and chasing and chasing. And what happens is, when you get all these yes people around you and you start to go up and up and up and up and up, you can feel lonelier and lonelier and lonelier. And if you feel lonely on this planet, it sucks. Horrible. And you might be able to entertain everybody or make everybody else laugh, but if you can't find you in that process, you've just lost the game of life.
It must be easy to get lost as an actor. I mean, you've played in pretty much all of the big, UK TV series. Bill, EastEnders, of course, as well.
I've done all the biggest shows.
You've been in lots of different shows, so I suppose going to Hollywood, how different was that to where you've been working, in and around London?
I moved out to Hollywood, and I was living out there. I moved a family out there, and it's just a shallow place. And the sad thing, when you start seeing, when you can see through things, people for me now are transparent. If someone's walking towards me, my mum's got an old saying: you can take all my stuff, take everything I own, take it, because I can replace that. Don't take my time, because I can't replace that. And that's where I'm at the moment. You used to see that people, no one looks at you, and it's a shallow place. And the sad thing is that you've got like 7,500 Londoners waiting tables, hoping for the dream, and that ain't never going to come. But you need to. But when you do this stuff, you learn to work it out. You don't let it get you down. And you've got all these old actors, friends of mine, that are waiting for another break. It ain't going to happen, mate. It ain't going to happen because they don't get how to make it happen. It's a savage sitting there, sitting around the table, talking about what could have been, and I was this, and I was, yeah, you was. What's with the was? Do, now. Do you understand? And they don't have that, and that's the sad thing. That's why I moved out. I moved back to London.
Are you freaking people out on set when you talk to them like that?
Do you know the funny thing is, no, but I don't do that anymore. When I first did the first, I come back like a nutter. I was like preaching like, don't eat that, don't drink this, don't do that. What are you doing? That's bad for you. This is bad for you. And then people just looking at me going, this geezer's absolutely lost the plot. But it's only because of my excitement of learning it. And then I've kind of learned that to not say anything. If someone asks, I'll throw a little bit in the mix. But the way I say things, I make it entertaining, and I make it enjoyable for them to listen to rather than a preach thing. It's like, I've got it now. You want me to help? You want to talk about it? I'll talk to you about it.
And personally, your family must be made up.
Oh, they're unbelievable. I was divorced, mate. I was 18 months on the sofa. You know what I mean? It was over, done. Solicitor. I mean, I've been married 30 years now.
And the text that his wife sent him today, tear-jerking text.
Yeah.
Tear-jerking text. You know, just really I'm so lucky to have someone like you to love. You know, you're such a great man and all this. And it's just like, wow, this is awesome.
But I'm going through challenges with my son. He's 25. And
Yeah, he was footballer, wasn't he, for a while? Yeah, he's still playing.
Great footballer. No, he's just got back from Turkey. He wants to be an actor, but he's jointed my hip. And the problem I had with him is I didn't cut the umbilical cord.
Mm-hmm.
He's always with me. And I learned that through this process. The more you give him, the worse it is. But your dad's got a few quid. He's driving a flash car. You've got one son. You want to give it to him. Worst thing you could have ever done. But I'm going through these challenges with my boy at the moment. And, you know, you take the higher ground and you know, first I was like, what's he usually talking to and what's he done and how could he do that to me? But as a father, you learn to take the higher ground and, you know, out with love, send him a little text, let him have his
So he's
moment.
been away. He had to actually, you know, be on his own and play, you know, in Turkey, because he did play at a few clubs in the UK as well, didn't he?
He played at Portland Timbers, Galaxy. He's been around. He got signed as a Pro at 7. Very talented, but before it'd be anger, like, get away from me, how can you do that to it? And now it's like, you know what, let's work this out, because what he's saying is a reflection of himself. He's attacking me because I'm the closest one to him, and
Yeah.
I sent him a text basically saying, listen son, as a father, you try and do the best by your kids, and obviously I got it wrong. Take your time, I'm proud of you. I know that one day you'll make your kids proud and you'll make your money and you'll be you, but just know that I'm here when you're ready to talk. You know, and that's where I'm at. I'm getting all fucking
Right, it's Bay Radio on a Friday afternoon. We'll go to a break and get another coffee in for Tam. I think he needs it. SWV right here, bit of Michael Jackson in there as well. We were talking about him a little bit earlier. So Tamer Hassan and Skip Archimedes, our guests this afternoon. They will be at the Denyer Marriott tomorrow from 9 o'clock. Just want to give you the details to register. skiparchimedes.com/foreveryoung. If you register there, you can go along tomorrow. You were saying last week that people can just pop in.
Absolutely, if they want to come
You're
down.
still saying that?
Yeah, they absolutely can. But as we just was having a conversation, you really want to be there for the whole day, because if you say you're watching a great movie, you want to see the whole movie. You don't want to see just the build-up or where the crash is or just the end credits. This is an experience. This is really giving people, like what Tamer was talking about. I'm not going to give it to you. What I'm going to do is, it's like you give someone a fish, great, you feed them for a day. But you teach them how to fish, they can fish for their whole life.
I've heard that somewhere before.
There you go. And people are going to be getting these tools that are lifelong tools, where they get to design their life the way they want it, and they get to live their life by their design, not by a default program that doesn't work. Because people think our thoughts are real. They're not. They're an illusion. People think their emotions are real. They're an illusion. But we have to understand that we're creating our thoughts. We're creating our emotions. We're creating our life. And if you want to complain, that's just a habit that you want to learn to shake off. Because anytime we're complaining, blaming or shaming, then we're not winning this game of life. We've become, or we've gone, as I mentioned earlier, below the line. So you want to come back up above the line. So you can just breathe. And most people are, I mean, just think about breath. You can go, because Tam at the moment, he's not eating at the moment. You know, he's on a liquid diet. Why? You can go literally months without food now. You can go days without water, but you go minutes without oxygen, liver cells starts shutting down, brain cells start shutting down, and you're going to be dead within a few minutes. And people are going to get connected to the real simple things in life that are going to empower them. And you're going to realize that the things in life that are free are some of the best things, because then, like the tools that Tam's, like, you know, he's playing with, you know, he's getting all these, you know, boys' toys and stuff, because then you're going to play with this stuff. You're not going to need a car to feel good. You're not going to need something to feel good. You're going to feel good and then attract it and then play with it. You know, a baby doesn't need anything, or a child doesn't need anything to feel good. So we're going to be connecting people to that childlike spirit within themselves, not so they're childish, but they're childlike. They're more creative. They connect without judgment. They can find the whole universe in something simple. And people are going to realize that the universe is actually inside them, and they're these creator gods and goddesses. But most people are creating a bit of a tragedy instead of realizing that, you know what, in life, you are the writer, you're the director, you're the producer, and you're the star of your own life. So now it's time to make your life a box office smash hit.
Well, people keep saying to me, when are you going to grow up? Never. Never. AID, keep improving daily. Boom! Come on.
So these guys will be at the Marriott tomorrow from 9 o'clock.
From 9 o'clock till 6.
You do the whole thing, because it'll certainly be worth it. Tam, tell us a little bit about what you're doing. You mentioned Snatch earlier. Who's showing that? Is it on Sky, is it? Or...
Well, it's going to go to America first. Yeah, we're doing Snatch, the TV show,
series,
which is, I've got to tell you, Alex Durakov, who's a dear friend of mine, a showrunner and a writer. It's brilliant. It's quite epic. It's a 10-part, 1 hour ep. They're already talking about commissioning season 2. It's based around a bullion heist. Me, Dougray Scott, Ginger Potter. You'll know the ginger kid out of Harry Potter. He's there. And it's a stellar cast. But yeah, well, I'm very excited about it. We're shooting that up in Manchester at the moment. We're shooting it until January. Should air in America around about February, and then come to Netflix, Amazon, whatever it is. It'll come here after that. So, yeah, we're doing Snatch, which we're really excited about. I mean, Snatch, it's got to be the coolest movie brand on the planet, isn't it?
With your mate as well, who was in the original movie, Vinny, wasn't he?
None of them are in this one.
Ah.
None of them are in it. Keep bringing Vinny up, doesn't he? He wants an exclusive.
No, I'm not like the male. I'm not looking for any of that at all. Seriously, I'm not.
You'll have to ask him next time you see him.
We don't see him too often.
No, nobody does anymore.
Brilliant.
Sorry, I'm doing that again.
No. You've got your own company these days, haven't you? You've got your own company.
Yeah, I own a production company now. And again, what I was saying, from the first retreat, I've learned that I can write. I've written 8 screenplays now, which are going into production. I own Skylight Media Entertainment, which produced a film, a big budget movie, which I starred in, the bad guy again, but a true life character called Sergei Koltsov. It's based around Stalin's atrocities that he did 100 years ago, when he massacred so many Cossacks and through starvation and famine. I mean, the number they got is like 15 million. It's a horrendous story, but a story that needs to be told, and it's never been done before. Stars myself, Max Irons, Samantha Barks, and the great Terence Stamp.
Wow.
And that's released in cinemas across the world, which is great.
It's quite a heavy subject.
Really heavy subject, but you know, it was one of these movies as well. You kind of make a movie, you go and you edit it, and we just couldn't get it right. It's 3 years in the making, this movie. It was too long, it was too sad, it was too documentary type, but now we've tightened it up. Chad Barriger and Camilla Story, the producers there, my partners, they did an amazing job on it as well, and we got it to the forefront, and I think it's ready. You know, we've watched it, we've seen it, Lionsgate's picked it up, so it's ready to be seen. It's a tough subject, you know, especially when I was doing it as well. I mean, these mothers, their kids are dying of famine and they're boiling their children, and it's just horrific. But the investor, Ian, he's a Ukrainian, and he's a multi-billionaire, and he financed it for his own pocket and wants to give his people a gift, and he believes that the world should know the story. And the same sort of thing I've done, I mean, away from all the gangster stuff that I've done, which I love doing, all the British gangster films and the American gangster films, did another one with Christian Bale and Oscar Isaac called The Promise, which is an epic, super budget movie, and that's about the Armenian War in Turkey, again 100 years ago. It's a love story set within a tragedy, the same as Bitter Harvest, and this one's A Promise. But working with Christian Bale was one of my dreams, and it happened. And you know, whatever, I've got to say this for him, whatever people say about him and that rant he had and all that it's complete crap. He is the most generous, probably the most gifted actors I've ever worked with, so I'm really excited for the release of that, and I think that's coming out in February as well.
Yeah, both of those are, you know, like you say, quite heavy subjects, and you know, drawn away from your normal bad boy sort of image.
And it's tough to do press and talk about this stuff, because when there's a war, someone will call it a genocide, some people call it war, and you know, there's always going to be a right and a wrong, there's always going to be a debate around it. So the press side of things I've kind of pulled away from, because they're going to ask you about, you know,
certainly in Turkey today, of course, that's
Turkey
where they
today,
start to go.
What's going on there, and you know, Turkey will say, you know, it's not, it was a war, and this ain't happened, that ain't happened, and people have their own opinions on it. That's why I kind of step away from it. I'm an actor. I want to, you know, represent the film more than anything.
And tell that particular story.
Yeah, and just tell the story, and they're both great epic pieces. And you know, someone's always going to have an opinion. That's why I kind of step away from it. But they're films that should be seen. You know, there's a lot of people out there that like that stuff, the historicals, and it's different for me. I'm playing. You know, they're actors' pieces. They're challenging. And so I'm really proud of the work we've done. So
excellent. So which car will the Daily Mail be filming you in next then? Because obviously cars are one of your loves. Skip alluded to it earlier, and we've been talking about it in the studio and before you came as well. I think really Rosie was saying that she prefers the G-Wagon,
the 63G.
Yeah, and I'm just much more with the GTS. I mean, you're an ambassador for AMG. I mean, what more do you want? You know, seriously.
I'm the global friend of AMG.
And you had a Mercedes AMG GTS before Jeremy Clarkson, and you wound him up terribly.
Wasn't happy about
you
that,
did, didn't you?
Yeah, he wasn't happy about it. It's because I was after his job. That was my dream job. He said, "What's your dream job? Do you want to be Bond? Do you want to be Batman?" I said, yeah, all the above. But I tell you what, give me a job on Top Gear.
You've just taken my next question.
Oh, there you go. Give me a job on Top Gear any day. But
what, you and Joey? That would be brilliant.
Yeah, I love Joey. I think he's good, you know, but it's predominantly a British show. I think he brings something good to it. It's about the best thing in it. I like him.
So is there any chance?
Well, we've put it out there. Let's see. You know, BBC, I'm here. When you're ready, give me a shout. But the GTS is good. I've ordered the GTC, which is the fastest convertible production car ever made, over 200 mile an hour. I picked that up in April. Hopefully Clarkson doesn't get one before me so I can wind him up again.
You've got a Bentley in waiting as well, haven't you?
I've got a Bentley, yeah. They're bringing out a two-seater, which I'm really excited about. I was actually walking past, going to the bank in Berkeley Square, and Bentley's there, and they pulled me in. They've been trying to get me in a car for a while. And I looked down at the magazine. I said, "What's that?" He went, "Well, that's coming out in 3 years' time." He said, "We're actually taking deposits for it now." I said, "Straight, there you go, there's a deposit." He said, "You're number 6 in the world." I went, "Lovely." But it's such a beautiful
You've got
car.
to be able to get on Top Gear with these, you know? You've got to, because you've got cars that nobody else has, and I suppose, you know, that's the idea, isn't it?
Exactly.
Stuff that no one else has, but big investments also.
And they're bringing out a hypercar. I was at the BFI Awards sitting on AMG's table last week with my wife, and they actually announced they're bringing out a hypercar to challenge the Bugatti.
Whoa.
About 700 grand it is. Put me first in, please.
Fantastic.
Because I know I double my money. So there you go. And I never lose money on cars. People think, what you're doing...
No, they're big investments, these, aren't they?
Yeah, they're great investments, you know, because I had the SLR, and once they stop making these cars, they just go up and up and up.
So I know you generally sell year on year, don't you, when a new model comes out or so on. So what have you actually kept?
Things like 458, I've kept things like, and I'm looking to buy a 599. So if anyone's got one for sale, I'll take it. But things like the G-Wagon, I'll change them.
Yeah.
For me, that's the family car on steroids, right?
I won't say how fast you said you were going in it.
But and I do the Gumball Rally every year, most years when I'm free, and we worked it out. When you're driving through Europe, right, the speed guns, people slow down. If you actually go over 170, the gun can't get you.
Now you have said how fast you were going.
Right, there you go. So.
All right, and one of your other loves then, it's Northampton away tomorrow for Millwall.
No.
Come on.
We got to win, haven't we? We always do that, don't we? You know, no one likes us, we don't care, but we love that club.
It's tough in League One.
It's tough in League One.
It's tough in the Championship as well, obviously.
We just always get there, don't we? We get to the playoffs and we get here and we get there, and we always fall at the last hurdle, but... You know, Millwall supporters love Millwall. I'm a Millwall supporter. I'm a great believer of supporting your local club. You know, it kind of annoys me when Londoners support Liverpool and Man United. I'm a Cockney Red. I'm this. You've got 7 Premiership clubs in London, mate. What are you doing? Oh, but my dad supported them. My dad supported Galatasaray. I don't mean I'll support them. There's no excuse. Support your local club. And look, I'm Millwall through and through. I love them dearly. And you know, we go to a game, we win or lose, we still sing and we're happy, you know what I mean?
There you go. You've got to give them a bit of your positiveness.
Absolutely. Positive. And Daniel Day-Lewis is a Millwall supporter. Did you know that?
I didn't know.
There you go.
No, I just follow who supports Leeds. But anyway, I've got away with it. I've mentioned it once. You see why I meant to ask for the questions a couple of times now then. Right then, tomorrow it is. Skip, one last word. Why should we go?
If you don't, I'm going to find you.
Sorry. You got me. You just said it.
That'll do. Brilliant. Tamer Hassan, Skip Archimedes. Have a great day tomorrow, and I wish we didn't have to stop, but we do. Thanks very much for your time.
Us,
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
See you all tomorrow.